Hello, welcome and namaste. This is Moksha Mukti Apollo. Today you can ask him questions about life. Ask him questions about life from your direct experience. Questions about happiness, sadness, anger, anxiety, depression, epiphany, joy, anything and everything about life. You can type your comments and Moksha Mukti will point you. How are you all doing today? What is your experience today? What are you experiencing now? Are you happy? Are you sad? What is your experience? Ask him a question. So there's the comments here. See, reading comments, and I'm reading comments here. We have Janet Lynn Binger. Where did the love go for one another? Janet, welcome. Thanks for being here. Namaste. The love for one another is always here. Is always was here, is here, and always be here. However, what is happening among humans are the synthetic existence created by the mind or the thought. And in the thought level, there will be love and there will be hatred. Love cannot exist without the hatred, and hatred cannot exist without the love. So it goes in a circle. Love, hate, love, hate. That is in the thought level. But Moksha Mukti is pointing you to go beyond thought, to the source. And once you go to the source, there is only love. And I'm reading comment here. We have Troy Foster says hi. Hi Troy. Thanks for joining. And more comments here. Oh, so I got 2. Says I have 5 comments, but there are only 2. Okay. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Says there are 5 comments, but I can only see 2. So anyway. The hatred is stemming from the thought, and the so-called synthetic love is also stemming from the thought. And in the thought level, there has to be love and hate, both, because that is the nature of the thought, to have both. And if you don't have hatred, love doesn't exist. And if there is no love, hatred doesn't exist. That is in the thought level. But in the source, there is always love, natural love, expressing itself. Now Janet Lynn Binger. Janet writes, how do we change the world? Being happiness and love back? Janet, why are you worried about changing the world? Change yourself. Love yourself. And from the love itself, you'll be able to radiate love outward. The inner love that you have within yourself from the source, you will be able to radiate love outward. And certainly, that love can change the world on its own without doing any effort. But first, on your part, love yourself. Accept yourself. Accept the reality as it is now in this present moment. Then we have Laland Cooper. Laland Cooper. Namaste. Namaste, Laland Cooper. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. And Laland writes, I have a polyp of Mytagnia speciosa, crust quartz, root barley, and apple cider vinegar. I am using to cure my negative energy, but it doesn't seem to be working. Help. Laland, what you need to do is put your attention inward and see where is that negative emotion that you call is stemming from. The negative emotion is the thought, positive emotion is the thought. Where is that stemming from? Try to locate the source within you. And if you locate the source, the negative emotion, the positive emotion both falls in, and there is only natural emotion as it is, expression of the expression. And if you want to be more specific, Moksha Mukti can point you what do you mean by negative emotion. However, going into the source, finding the source, recognizing the source, all those emotions, negative, positive, will fall off. And there will only remain you are truly as it is. And in the eyes of the others, that true you are may look happy. But in this experience, what Moksha Mukti is pointing, recognizing the source, is neither happy nor sad. For in the eyes of the others, looks like, well, Moksha Mukti is really happy. Moksha Mukti is real peaceful. See, that is just the appearing. That is the natural expression of the existence expressing itself. Okay. So, it says I have 8 comments, but I can only see 6. I can only see 6. Oh, there is Charles. Charles is here. Charles Bohik Moretti. Hello, Charles. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. Charles Wright. Hello. How can I control the infinity wisdom of Source with love? How can I control my dreams or spirits so I can learn from the spirit and remember everything from my spirit remembers? First of all, there is no need to be controlling. The more you try to control, that is stemming from your thought. thought likes to control. But the source is uncontrollable. You cannot control the source. You cannot control the experience, or you cannot control the expression of the existence. That you cannot control. And the more you try to control, the more problem it creates for you. The more angry you get, more unhappy you will get, more sad you'll get, more anxious you'll get. Because what it is cannot be controlled. What can you do with what it is? You can give attention to the source within. I think the spirit you are talking about is the source within. When you give attention to the source, you are accepting. And in that accepting, everything is revealed to you. Everything. And what is happening there is your attention is consumed by your mind, and by thinking, you will not know the source. By thinking, you only want to control. So instead of giving attention to the thought, give attention to the source. And that's what Moksha Mukti is pointing. And Lillian Cooper writes, I think the source is the contrast. Source is the constant. Cyber harassment that I receive every day. I think the source is constant cyber harassment that I receive every day. I will continue to look inward to see if I can purge it. Yeah. All the information that you receive is outward, external. Someone's imagination imposed upon you. But the source inward is always constant, like you said. It doesn't change. Everything else changes. Everything else changes around you, but the source does not change. And the source is not yours or mine. The source is just is. And we are all connected through the source. We are all one through the source, because we are all one. All the other aspect, our mind, body, is only aspect of who we are. Because essentially and fundamentally, truly, we are the source. Janet Lynn Binger writes, I feel you get attacked more you love, and the more happiness. Our world seems to go after the love and happiness. What do you mean by I feel you get attacked more you love and more happiness? Our world seems to go after the love and happiness. I'm not understanding what is your question. I feel you get attacked more. Are you getting attacked by people more you love? Or what do you mean by that? Because expression is perceived as a love and happiness. Existence naturally is perceived as love and happiness, isn't it? Existence is the love and existence is happy. That is the perception of the mind. But in the reality, existence is simply is. And in there you may experience. And when you give attention to the source, you may experience extraordinary experiences, epiphanic experiences, ecstatic experiences. And that your mind interpret as a happy. And can you experience happiness all the time? No. So-called happiness is the sensation in the body. It appears and disappears. It appears and disappears just like the cloud in the sky. And they all have purpose. Cloud has a purpose. Rain has a purpose. Sunny day has a purpose. Combining all together in harmony. Sunshine, rain, cloud, all gives harmony for the nature. It provides everything for the nature. It provides food for the humans, animals, plants, everything. You see. And Leland Cooper writes, do you believe in crystal therapy? I am a firm believer in it, and also smudging. My favorite mineral is Harnate. Yeah, Leland, whatever works for you. Moksha Mukti does not believe in those because that's only for the thought. If you go to the source, nothing is really necessary. But if you are happy with it, if it works for you, go for it. But Moksha Mukti does not recommend it. He recommends giving attention to the source. Janet Lynn Binger writes, why is the happier person the more negative people try to bring you down? Because that is the nature of the thought. Thought likes to rule. Thought is fascist. Thought is cruel. And even Moksha Mukti sees he's giving talks peacefully, lovingly, happily, and there are people putting negative comments someplace, not all the places, but some places Moksha Mukti is noticing there is a one person. He's constantly following Moksha Mukti, listening to what he's saying and putting negative comment, cutting him down. See, that is the nature of the thought. And he's not doing that, but his thought is doing that. You see? And Moksha Mukti does not go and try to rebut what he's saying, because now he's trying to bring Moksha Mukti to his level. And you don't want to come down to his level, so you just ignore it. Because your loyalty is to you, so other people try to bring you down. Attention, again, put your attention to the source, because they're also the source, but their thought is illusion, try to bring you down to their level. You see, ignore them, pay attention to the thought, listen to them, hear them out, read what they're saying, hear what they're saying, but give attention to the source. Go back to the source, and eventually they'll come back to your source and follow you. Follow you because that you're the source is within you. The source is also within you, but they have not recognized the source, and they'll try to follow you because you have recognized the source. And Charles writes, how can I see my chakras and aura? Moksha Mukti has said this in a many occurrence. Moksha Mukti does not believe in chakras. Chakras are imagination. Imagine there is something here in the hair, something in the throat, something in the chest, something in the navel area, something in the growing area. All those, I think 7 chakras are imagination, imagined by the expert. You see? An aura is created when you put your attention to the source. When you put attention to the thought, your energy is exhausted, and you lose whatever energy left in the body is called the aura is lost because you have put too much attention on your thought. But if you bring attention to the source, you are conserving. You are conserving the energy, and the energy probably gives you some sort of reflection. You may call that aura. But you don't need to believe in aura. Say, well, I need to have aura. Just pay attention to the source, and the source will take care of it. And Oscar at Maria Medina. Hello, Oscar. Thanks for joining. Namaste. And he writes, in talk. What do you mean by in talk? I'm just trying to read in lock. I don't know what do you mean by Oscar. I don't know what you write there. Luis Gomez. Hello, Luis. Thanks for joining. Namaste. What practice is best to raise our frequency to 900 plus? Moksha Mukti does not pay attention to any frequency, because when you put your attention to the source will take care of it. Whatever frequency your body needs, your source will take care of that for you. Oscar Ultima writes ECH. I do not know what Oscar means. And Janet Lindberger Binger writes, thank you. You're welcome, Janet. Thanks for joining. Thanks for sharing your experience. Thanks for asking questions. And Luis Gomez writes, thanks. You're welcome, Luis. Charles writes, what's the best way to focus on the source? It's not really focusing, but giving attention. Giving attention, that is observing. That is observing everything, even observing your thought. If you just believe in your thought, then you're not giving attention to the source. Even for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however you can, give attention to the source that is already within you. And the source will see the thought. Oh my God, the thought is coming in, thought is going out, thought is coming in, thought is appearing, disappearing in your consciousness. The source will see that. You see? And give attention to that. We have Calvin Sarita. Hello, Calvin. Thanks for joining. Namaste. Calvin writes, how do we best get in touch with the source? Well, Moksha Mukti just said to Charles, giving your attention. Your attention. Your thought is fooling you. Thought wants to know how. But there is attention within you. Give that attention to the source instead to the thought. Because thought is constantly craving for that attention. Thought is constantly using your attention. Because thought is powerful. It is an illusion, yet it is a powerful illusion. It is a powerful. And it is consuming your energy, consuming your attention. But break free from that and give attention to the source within you. And when you give attention to the source, you can see the thought arising in your mind. They appear and disappear, all the thoughts, negative thoughts, positive thoughts. They appear and disappear, appear and disappears. But you'll notice, majority of your thoughts are negative, so-called negative. But negative and positive are defined by the condition of the mind, conditioned by the society. What society conditioned you? Some thoughts is perceived as a positive thoughts in one society, and the same thought is perceived as a negative thought in different society. So depending on how the society condition you, you interpret the thought as negative thought or the positive thought. And we have Calvin Sanida. Okay, I already answered that. Okay. And here Moksha Mukti is pointing you to give attention to the source within you. You see, and thought is powerful. And thought is arising on its own. You don't even know what you're going to think next. Even Moksha Mukti does not know what he's going to think next, because everything is happening dynamically, spontaneously, now. You see. Any questions, comments, concerns? Charles writes, thank you. You're welcome, Charles. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. And you also notice that Moksha Mukti is in the present moment, and he's pointing you to the source, and source is in the present. You will not be able to recognize the source in the past. You will not be able to recognize the source in the future. But now, in this present moment, there you can recognize the source by giving attention to the source now in the present moment. And present moment is just not the word, but the experience that you're experiencing now. You see, a lot of people will give you knowledge, information, knowledge. See, Moksha Mukti is not pointing to that. Moksha Mukti is pointing to the experience, for you to experience. Because knowledge and information is only to the thought, and thought is thinking. You will not recognize the source by thinking. You see. And we have Charles writes, can clouds be viewed as thoughts and the sky as the source? Neither the cloud nor the sky is the source. Both the cloud and the sky are appearing in the consciousness, in the source. Source is infinity. Source has unlimited potential. Source, by coming to the source, you can create miracle for you. And the source cannot be defined, doesn't have any form. And mind will never know what the source is. That's only direct experience that you can experience. And the source within you knows everything there is to know for you to live. And there is a different aspect of you. There is something, the mind. You need the mind to function in the society created by the synthetic reality, created by the mind, and is synthetic reality. You see, to function in that society, you'll need the mind, you'll need the thought, and that thought and mind is taught to you by your society, by your teacher, parents, society, books, TV, news, radio, online, your friends. You're conditioned by all those information on the mind. This is sensitive. If I touch it, the questions disappears. If we touch it gently. Yeah, gently. Calvin writes, thank you, Moksha. You're welcome, Calvin. Do you believe that our physicality is an illusion of our perception of the source? Yes, the physical appearance is the aspect of you that is not the source. The mind body is aspect of you is not the source. The mind and body appears in the source. It is appearing and disappearing in the source. The mind body is an aspect of you, who you are. It's not who you are, but is an aspect of who you are. And the aspect is different for everyone. That makes you unique. There is no one like you on the planet. Nature works very hard to make everyone unique. Even two leaves from the same plant or tree, they appear similar from the far or the same from the far, but if you go closer and look at it, study their aspect, you see two leaves from same tree or the plant is unique and not the same. And Oscar rides LSD. Moksha Mukti does not do LSD. Moksha Mukti does not do any drugs. Moksha Mukti does not do any alcohol. And Oscar writes DMT. I think that's also another form of drugs. Moksha Mukti does not do any drugs. And he doesn't recommend any drugs. And Oscar keep on rising. Yes. I have no idea what Oscar is talking about. Anyway, Oscar, thanks for joining. Thanks for participating. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. Thanks for sharing your experience. Oscar writes the third eye. The third eye, fourth eye, fifth eye, sixth eye, seventh eye, eighth eye, ninth eye, 10th eye, whatever eye you're talking about is the source. When you give your attention to the source, all your eyes, infinity amount of eyes are opened. Not only third eye. Charles writes, what is your view on magic? Magic is an illusion created by your thought. And Moksha Mukti can present you one magic, and it is an illusion. Maybe next time I'll present you a magic. He didn't bring any material here. He can present you magic, and the magic is the illusion. You see. However, miracle can be created in your life. Miracle is the product of the source. Thought is slow and the source is fast. When you give attention to the source, everything happens fast for you. Sometimes that appears as a slow to the thought, but if you go thought process, if you use your thought, it may take you years and years and years and years, and maybe if you give your attention to the source, that may happen in few days or few months. You see, and a miracle can be created from the source when you give attention to the source. Now you are free from the thought, not so much free from the thought because you are not attached to the thought. You see, you see the thought, you observe the thought, but you're not attached to the thought. You're not believing in the thought. And in there's a possibility of creating miracle in your life. And Oscar writes, peace. Well, peace. Peace to you, brother. But what do you mean by peace? Do you really know what does peace mean? Can you describe what peace is? Stan Green writes, hello Stan, thanks for joining, namaste. Stan writes, do you believe in the brown eye? Who's the one that is saying brown? Who is the one that says brown? Who's the one that says blue? Who's the one that says black? Who's the one saying that? Oscar writes, Om. I think he meant to say Om. Om is not a piece, Oscar. Om is simply the sound, according to scientists and spiritual forerunners, gurus, that the Om is the sound of the universe. Om is not the piece. And Stan Green writes, haha. Well, if you can see sense of humor, if you can laugh, laugh. Because when there is no attention to the thought, the laughter may arise, cry may arise, tear may arise, laughter may arise, and the source of the both laughter and tear, they're the same. Same source, laughter is arising, same source, the tear is arising. And in both laughter and tear, there is a joy. Like a couple days ago, when Moksha Mukti is talking to viewers like you right now, and one viewer was so much attentive, she gave so much attention to the source, and she participates so much attention to herself, and finally she was able to recognize the source, and the tear came from her eyes, she said. And she said that is a joy of tear. She was really joyful, you see. And Oscar writes, Gandula Pina. Don't know what that means. Okay, Oscar writes, sorry for my English. So, Oscar, your English is not your first language. Okay, I understand. Anyway, thanks for trying. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing your experience. Thanks for participating in this forum. Hang on a minute, I'll be right back. Hang on a second, I need to go check that out. What's going on there? Just 1 second. Hello, I'm back. My daughter was crying, had to go check it out. In the meantime, grab some water. Cheers. And we have KKM Evans. Hello, K. Thanks for joining. Namaste. And Oscar writes, Egyptian third eye. The third eye, the fourth eye, the fifth eye, whatever eye you want to call it. Hindus call them the third eye right here in the middle. And Hindus call them Shivaji, has a third eye. And that third eye is connected to your pineal gland. Moksha Mukti is aware of that. That is just the knowledge or information. But Moksha Mukti sees the source. When you give attention to the source, the third eye or whatever eye is already opens up. There are infinity possibilities when you give attention to the source. Any other questions, comments, concerns? KKM Evans writes, what do you have to say for someone who is starting to use chakra balancing? K. Moksha Mukti has already pointed out that chakra is someone's imagination, stemming from the comprehensive knowledge collected since the existence of humans. There is a sensation in the forehead, there is a sensation in the throat, there is a sensation in the heart area, there is a sensation in the head, and humans have created through their imagination. There is something there. Moksha Mukti does not believe in chakras. Moksha Mukti does not recommend in chakras. He is pointing you to see the source, recognizing the source by giving attention to the source. And source is already within you now. However, if you want to practice chakra, practice meditation, practice yoga, this, that and the other, Moksha Mukti is not against that. Moksha Mukti does not say that's bad, that's good. He doesn't recommend it, he doesn't practice it. That's it. Oscar writes, the pineal gland, also known as the pineal body, corium or epiphyse celebration. Yeah, they say there's a pineal gland, and I think Moksha Mukti is functioning most of the time in the pineal gland, because when you give attention to the source, the pineal gland, I think, activates on its own naturally. You don't even need to do anything. And Moksha Mukti is living, experiencing from the pineal gland. And K writes, so what would be your opinion on paganism? Well, Moksha Mukti read that the paganism is earlier so-called spiritual practice, and if you want to practice that, Moksha Mukti is not against that, but Moksha Mukti does not recommend any spiritual practice. He practices giving attention to the source, and he is functioning naturally. He is in natural state of the being. something happened to him in 2009, and he asked experts, what happened to Moksha Mukti? He's experiencing this epiphanic experience for many, many months, and all of a sudden he gave up eating meat and alcohol, drinking alcohol from that day in 2009, sitting in one guest bedroom on one sunny afternoon in the summer of 2009. Since then, Moksha Mukti hasn't eaten meat, Moksha Mukti hasn't drunk alcohol, Moksha Mukti hasn't practiced anything. Moksha Mukti does not listen to anyone because he just listens to inner source. So he asks expert what happened to him, and the expert says, Moksha Mukti, you have atomic transformation. So something happened in that event, Moksha Mukti transformed, and since then he doesn't eat meat, he doesn't drink alcohol, he doesn't do anything, he doesn't listen to anyone, he doesn't read anybody's book, he doesn't read anyone's opinion, you see. And everything happening automatically, everything happening naturally, and all this talks is arising from his natural state of being. See, it's not coming, he's read somewhere all these talks, it's not something he heard from someone, but the experiencing that is experiencing live now, see, is all expressing. This is the expression of the existing that is happening now in this present moment. And I'm trying to read the comments here. I have to go back gently because if I touch something, it just throws me out here. Yeah, so paganism. So see, but I've read somewhere that even the Easter is the holiday of pagans, and Christians adapted to that. December 25th is the holiday of pagan, and the Christian adapted to that. And many Christians, not many, but some Christians believe that Jesus wasn't born on December 25. He was born some other time. But since pagan holiday was December 25, they start practice pagan, because whatever happening, Moksha Mukti accepts that, and whatever happening is happening naturally. So Oscar writes, what's the 4 or 5 eye? See the source, Oscar. When you give attention to the source, you'll see you have infinity eyes, not 4, 5, 6. Infinity. Yeah, the source is unique. Source is only one. There is no separation between you and I in the source. There is only one source. And you're giving attention that is already within you. You see that source. KK writes, what is the source? Moksha Mukti has already pointed out, source cannot be defined, source cannot be comprehended, source cannot be known by your mind. Because the source is infinite and the mind is finite. Mind is limited. The mind will never know the source. But the source is already within you that knows everything there is to know. You are already connected to the source. Everything, the mind, body is appearing in the source. You see, you are not separate from the source. You are connected. And you can experience that. You can recognize that. And Moksha Mukti is pointing, give attention to the source. See, majority of human, 99% of the human, they're busy giving attention to the thought only. That thought is so powerful, because your thought is not your thought. Your thought is comprehensive collective thought. That comprehensive thought accumulated, collected since the humans existing on the planet. Since then we have collected those thoughts as a knowledge, and all those thoughts and knowledge are has conditioned your mind, and all the thought arising is not your thought. Those thoughts are comprehensive collective thought, and those thoughts are powerful, and those thoughts are eating up your energy. And what Moksha Mukti is pointing, save some of your energy to not to believe in that thought so much, even 5 minutes, even 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Give your attention to the source, and you will see all the thoughts are appearing and disappearing, like the cloud in the sky. It appears and disappears, appears and disappears. And Oscar writes, Nirvana. Nirvana is the word produced by Buddhism, and you can look it up. And Nirvana, Buddhist calls Nirvana, Hindu calls Moksha. You see, that is the ultimate goal of the humans, is defined by the scripture, and it doesn't really exist, because those things, Nirvana, Moksha, enlightenment, cannot be captured. It cannot be captured. You cannot possess it. It cannot be captured. It cannot be structured. It cannot be boxed. And ego is your mind. Ego is your mind. The one that says I, mine, me, that is the ego. And K writes, you are very cool, thank you. You have made me see things differently. Namaste. Namaste. Thanks for joining, K. Did you hear the tornado siren? That siren is just a test. It is just a test. My daughter is over here. She's like, what is that noise coming from? It's a sunny day and there is a siren. That means on every Wednesday, first month of the Wednesday, they do this test, making sure the siren works, and that's what you're hearing right now. It's just a test. They're doing a test. They'll announce it is a test. My daughter says she's scared. They're just doing the test. And my daughter says scared. I think she's listening to me. The scared is just the thought arising in the mind. The scared is just the word arising in the mind says I am scared. Just the word. Because it is probably stemming from the fear. The fear is in the body to protect you from the danger. Any danger event, the fear is there to protect you. So your attention is grabbed by fear, and it is help you to take action to protect against from danger. And the thought comes in and says, I want to get rid of the fear from my body because I don't like that experience. The experience of the fear in the body, I don't like it. That's what the thought says. And thought is trying to get rid of that sensation from the body, but thought cannot get rid of that. because the sensation of the fear is like your heartbeat. It has a duration. It will stay in your body for a duration, period of time. And until it disappears, thought cannot get rid of it, but the thought wants to get rid of it, and it creates friction. And that friction is causing you to be more fearful. That friction is causing you to have experience of scaredness. And since there's too much friction, that could cause you more damage to you. Any other questions, comments, concerns? And humans are busy thinking, assuming that the thought you think will solve everything, will give you all experiences by thinking. No, by thinking will not give you experience. Oscar writes, why you make videos? Oscar, this is the expression of the existence expressing. It is natural expression of the existence. Technology is the part of the existence, and you are part of that. And he's not making video, or he's not making anything. It is just simply expressing the expression of the existence. And something happens to you like this, what happened to Moksha Mukti, you see, it expresses. It expresses through different modus operandi, whether in front of the people. Moksha Mukti does gatherings in the house, in the park, in the temple, in the church, wherever. He does gathering and he expresses expression through his different modus operandi. And right now he's using technology to express his expression, and at the same time he's pointing you to see the source, because he is experiencing the source. And through his pointer you can also experience the source, because we're all one. And that cannot be denied, because eventually you will experience different experiences, either sadness, depression, anxiety, pain. All this is pointing you to put your attention to the source and recognize the source, because the source cannot be denied. And I think someone just wrote a question. See who's it. And Oscar writes, now Oscar is asking you good questions. Earlier I thought you were on LSD because you talk about LSD. Now here you're asking good questions. So what moves you? It is the movement of the universe. It is the movement of the existence. Existence is dancing. The universe is dancing. Universe is expressing. Existence is expressing. And Moksha Mukti is expression. So it is also dance. It's also dance. Existent, expressing itself through Moksha Mukti. And Calvin writes, will you be back live streaming in the future? time is needed to observe and reflect, and it would be great to talk again in the future. Hello Calvin. Moksha Mukti has been giving talks every day since last week. Maybe he didn't give talk for one day, but he gave talk on Monday, he gave talks on Tuesday, and today is Wednesday. He gave talk on today, and he's planning to give on talks on Thursday and Friday. So he's been giving talks every day, Monday to Friday, even sometimes Saturday and Sunday, but mostly Monday to Friday. And tomorrow he has scheduled to give talks, but nothing is certain in life. But he has scheduled to give talks between 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. between those time, Central U.S. time. Right now, what time is it? See if I can give you the time right now. What time is it? Right now it is 12:08 Central U.S. time p.m. 12:08 p.m. Central U.S. time. So Moksha Mukti will give talks between 11 a.m. Central U.S. time to 2 p.m. Central U.S. time. There is no difference. Sometimes he'll give talk at 11, 11:30, but between those time. And so tomorrow he has scheduled to give talks between 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central U.S. time. So anyway, thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. And give your attention to the source and carry that wherever you go. And of course, sometimes you have to give too much attention to the thought, because you have to function in the society. It's like you're in a bad traffic, or there's something danger arises. You have to use the thought, or sometimes you just react without even thinking. You see, thought usually slows down, but you do have to use your mental instrument to function somewhere else. Then you have to give attention to that. But he's pointing you to give attention to the source and carry that wherever you go. Thanks for joining. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Moksha Mukti has been talking for about over just an hour, and so far he has talked for 2 hours. If there are viewers, if there is energies there, Moksha Mukti will talk. Moksha Mukti has even talked without any viewer for 2 hours, because now he's expressing the expression of the universe or the existence, and this is pure love. This love is different kind of love than that you love your family, that you love your spouse, your friends, your romantic partner. This is not the same kind of love. Those loves are usually stem from the thought, but this love is the expression of the existing itself, expressing, radiating. We have Wu Ji Jing. Hello Wu, thanks for joining. Namaste. I am a practitioner of healing touch. I study with Shaman Anna Laramandi and Mother Anastasia Jones. I promote masturbation to my clients as a form of therapy. Have you ... Moksha Mukti does not want to go so much in detail. I think she meant to write a question, but she stopped have you ... So she was probably going to write a question. Moksha Mukti does not go into detail in such things. However, he will point out there is 2 things that is happening among humans. One is survival. Every living, higher living, middle living, lower living, every living falls under survival. You see, when you say survive, a lot of my friends will say, well, we're not surviving, we're living. Well, living, higher living, lower living, this living is the interpretation of the mind, is still surviving. Surviving is the bigger platform, and a living is just a small detail defined by the mind. So survival is there and the reproduction is there. We are surviving and we are reproducing so the humanity can continue. So So anything reproduction, part of a genital, is part of reproduction. You see, and that is all that is happening. It is the survival and reproduction. By surviving, you survive, and reproduction, you keep the humanity continue. Because if there is no reproduction, what will happen? The humanity will end. When this body ends, there was no more humans left. And so there is a reproduction process to have that continuity. And somehow the universe has built a mechanism in you to have that reproduction activity make you feel good. You see? So the reproduction activity make you feel good. That's the part of the reproduction built-in mechanism built in you, so that you would use those activities to reproduce. And certainly those activities may feel good to humans. That's why they do. So that's why all this offsprings, all this humanity is continued. Now there's almost 8, 9, 10. I think we're close to 10 billion. Maybe between 8 to 10 billion humans on the planet. Why there are 8 billions, 10 billions humans on the planet? Because of the reproduction activities. You see, the universe has fooled you and put a mechanism in you to give you good feelings, so you continue those activities and reproduce. See, the universe is fooling you to have the humanity going. You see, so that is the perspective you're putting in. Moksha Mukti does not want to go into detail. You see. And see right here. And in between, Oscar writes something, and then there is a Wu, and I'm gonna read Wu's comment, and I'm gonna come back and read Oscar's comment to give the continuity. Wu writes, Namaste. Thank you for answering my question. It is truly an honor. I too consider the physical touch is a survival, relax, innate in Gaia's creature. Yeah, I mean, all the reproduction activities is part of that. Whether you must masturbate or have a sexual intercourse, those are all reproduction activities. You see. Then we have Oscar's. He wrote something here. I have to come back to Oscar's comment. Oscar writes, I am strong believer on the magic plants. Use the long times in earth. Whatever you believe. You are what you believe, Oscar. However, your beliefs are nothing but the thought. Plants may have certain energy in it, and if you believe in it, even a grass can cure you. If you believe, the grass can cure you, and grass can cure you because the grass has the power to heal you. But we ignore just the stupid grass on the ground. It is everywhere. Even a blade of the grass that is there living has the power to heal you. But when you connect it to the source, you see, source is the healer. Source can do the magic. Source can do the miracle. And Moksha Mukti is not against that, but he doesn't believe in plants, but he knows the plants have some sort of energy that may be in sync, give a synchronicity to the body to function optimally. Any other questions, comments, concern? Moksha Mukti has been speaking with you. Those of you who just joined, Namaste. This is Moksha Mukti answering questions about life, and he's pointing you to see the source. And all the answer that you have is already in the source. And Moksha Mukti is not telling you anything. Moksha Mukti is not asking you to do anything. He is simply pointing you to put your attention to the source. Any other questions, comments, concern? Oscar writes something here. Hernano, I recommend you search DMT. Moksha Mukti does not believe in any drugs, any plants. Whatever is happening automatically, happening naturally. And Oscar writes, thank you. Gracias. Well, you're welcome, Oscar. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing here. Thanks for spending a few minutes with Moksha Mukti and sharing your experiences, sharing your information. You're welcome. He says gracias, so you must be Spanish. So how do I say you're welcome in Spanish? De nada. I think that's what I'm supposed to say. When you say gracias, I think I'm supposed to say de nada. No problem. You're welcome. And Moksha Mukti is naturally high. A lot of people say, Moksha Mukti, you seem high. Do you take any drugs? Moksha Mukti does not need to take any drugs. He's high naturally. A lot of people say, Moksha Mukti, you look peaceful. You look cool. You look calm. You look happy. You have some sort of a radiance on your face. What is your secret? What do you do? I want to have like that. You see, do you take any drugs or any food? No, Moksha Mukti does not take any drugs. Moksha Mukti does not take any special food. You see, this is happening naturally, and he's high naturally. He's peaceful, so-called peaceful. That appearance is naturally. All the energy, all the glowings in the face is naturally. Doesn't take any plans, he just takes regular diet, regular food. He eats breakfast, lunch, dinner. Sometimes snacks. Doesn't take any drugs, doesn't take any alcohol. Oh, Oscar is back. And writes, he asks questions. Do we need to search for knowledge? You only need to search for knowledge to function in the society as an intelligent and rational human being. That's the only time you need to search for knowledge, to function in the society. What Moksha and Mukti is pointing to the source. All the knowledge that you need, all the information that you need is already within you, and that knowledge cannot be known by the mind. It cannot be comprehended by the mind, because the mind is limited. And knowledge is for the mind, and that is limited. And the source is infinity, not limited. So the mind will never know what the source is. You can only experience it, you can only recognize it. And you need knowledge to function in the society. Like even I need knowledge that I have to have a iPhone. You see, this live streaming is not available on my iPad. Although I have seen some people use it, I've tried to use it on iPad. I haven't been able to figure that out. But it's there on my iPhone. It's not on my computer, so I cannot sit in front of the computer and go live. You have to go on the phone. So those sort of knowledge is needed to function in the society. Just like I needed to have a glass of water, and I need the knowledge to know where the glass is. I need knowledge to know where the water is, so I can drink glass of water. Even just to eat food, I need to have some knowledge about the money, how to earn some money. I need to have a knowledge of the grocery store, where to go to grocery store, knowledge of where all the food are stored, grab it from there and come here and pay to the cashier. See, I have to have all this knowledge to function in the society. And that's only to function in the society intelligently and sanely and rationally. That's the only time you need knowledge, because the knowledge itself is imagination. Not the kind of daydreaming kind of imagination, but the concrete imagination. And knowledge given to, all the knowledge that is given to you is someone's imagination. And that people have accepted that. Other group of people have accepted that. We have, I'm trying to read your name here to bring this closer. Tanmoy, Tanmoy Saha. Yeah, looks like Tanmoy Saha. Hello Tanmoy, thanks for joining. Namaste, good to have you here. And Tanmoy writes, how do I know that what is my destiny? Destiny is the word stem from your thought or the mind or the conditioned mind. Destiny is for the thought, created by the thought. And you have to have a destiny in synthetic reality, created by the man-made reality. Created by the mind in the man-made reality. In the synthetic reality, you have to have a destination. You have to have a goal. You have to have a purpose to function there. But in the reality, there is no destination. Everything is happening on its own. Everything is created for you. Everything is happening. And we're like the wave in the ocean. Go wherever the wave takes us. Go wherever the tides takes us. Go wherever the energy of the universe takes us. But for the mind, there is a destiny. There is a calculation. There is a thinking. There is a logic. There is a sequence. There is numbers. There is a goal. There is a purpose. That's only for the mind. Any other questions, comments, concern? We have someone else here who just joined here. Oscar writes again, what about I'm trying to read a comment here. I'm waiting for the comment to appear here, and once the comment appears I can read the comment and point to you. Why is the comment is not appearing? I think I just have to give a few minutes, so I'm just going to place it here and waiting for comments to appear on my iPad so I can read the comment and talk about that, speak about that. This technology is new and there are some hiccups in the technology. So this hiccup, there it is. Now comment is appearing. So let's see, I have to go back to the earlier comment. Oscar writes, what about the search for the knowledge of the source? There is no searching of the source because the searching is already within you right now. And the only way you can recognize the source or experience the source is give attention to that. There is no search. Just putting attention to that source. And Tanmoy Saha writes, when till shall I breathe? You breathe as long as the universe wants you. As long as universe wants you, you breathe. And when the universe no longer wants you here, he will take the quantum or the atoms from your body and recycle it and place it somewhere else for it to balance itself, for it to continue itself. Oscar writes, too many fake predicators. What do you mean by predicators? Tanmoy Saha writes, I miss her so much. Who do you miss, Tanmoy? Then we have Keelan Sanders. Hello, Keelan. Thanks for joining. Keelan writes, what do you think happens after physical death? Moksha Mukti has already spoken on this subject or matter on different occasions. There is no such thing as death. Death is created by the mind, by the expert. So-called clinical death is the moment is occurs when you do not breathe, when there is no heartbeat. So when such thing occurs, the experts labels that as a clinical death, and in that moment your energy from your body, all the atoms, quantums, is being recycled and placed somewhere else. But there is no death for the body because everything is continuous. You see, it's no beginning or ending. Everything happening simultaneously and everything is processing. So when this so-called clinical death occurs, the body doesn't die, it gets recycled and placed it somewhere else. And in other sense, if you Moksha Mukti talked about multiverse, infinite universe, There is a one version of you exactly duplicate in another universe, and there is infinity of you in infinity universe, in different character, different aspect, in different events. You see, you could be scientist on this universe, you could be doctor, you could be lawyer, you could be dishwasher, you could be beggar, you could be sleeping on street on different universe. All the possibilities happening now, and in there is no death. Even on this universe, your body knows there is no death, and the death, your body gets recycled and placed somewhere else. Somewhere else there is a continuity. Any other questions, comments, concern? And then we have another person here, Keelan Sanders. Oh, okay, yeah, we already answered that question. What do you think about that? So we already talked about that. And then Keelan Sander writes, thanks for your insight. You are welcome, Keelan. Thanks for joining. Thanks for sharing your experience. Make it lively for Moksha Mukti to speak. Make it interactive for Moksha Mukti. Otherwise, Moksha Mukti can talk. He can talk like this all day.